everyone, welcome. Today I want to have a really candid talk about the energy in the world right now and the offering of the intensity of the energy right now. I know most of us are probably feeling intensity in the outer world. There's a lot of intense things happening in the world right now that are acting as a catalyst for some very necessary change in the world, and things are getting kind of ugly and dredged up as a catalyst for change that will lead to blessings. But it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And what's happening now that I'm noticing energetically is that we've been experiencing this outer change that's a very uncomfortable change with things that are happening in politics and things that are happening to nature and in the world, and just very uncomfortable old mentality that I think was kind of kept under a veil and not made to feel really intense for many, many years. And now it's like the band-aid has been ripped off and we have this like gaping wound in the world, right? That's coming up in a lot of different areas, coming up with the mistreatment of nature and mistreatment of people in general and the mistreatment of people with certain religions. And it's just all over. We could go on and on and on about the unjust nature of a lot of things that are happening in the world. But this gaping wound that's happening because this band-aid has been ripped off is an offering for great healing in the world. And if things weren't spewing like they were, then we wouldn't really quite know that things were as intense so that we could go ahead and heal them as a collective. But it's kind of like you have to feel it to heal it, and we're really feeling it as a collective right now. Well, what I've been noticing recently, specifically within the last few weeks, is that not only are we all feeling the collective energy and the collective happenings of what's going on, but on a personal level, things are getting drudged up and brought up. And maybe we had a false band-aid over some things that we thought were not issues in our life, or some things that we thought we had dealt with a long time ago and healed a long time ago, but maybe didn't really release all of it, or some things that we just didn't think were ever issues, but maybe there are situations that we've outgrown that we need to re-examine, heal from, and then move on from. So I've realized this new happening, this new pattern in my own life, as well as almost everyone that I know and clients as well, is there's this new inner personal offering of these things rising to the surface that are uncomfortable, but we need to feel it to heal it. And so examine your own life. Recognize, are there some really uncomfortable things coming up in my own life that are creating this deep feeling of unease? And recognize that it's not a coincidence that the world at large is having this unease and this very uncomfortable stuff happening as a means to show us that it's there so that we can heal it as a collective, as well as the inner stuff. Because we're all a mirror for each other. If we're all broken inside and we're all unhealed inside, then the world at large will be unbroken and unhealed. So really the outer turmoil in their outer world is mirroring the fact that most of us have some sort of inner turmoil that has not been reconciled yet. And maybe we didn't know that it was there before, but this very uncomfortable energy of allowing our stuff to come to the surface is a beautiful offering for us to really examine and get into the murky muck of the uncomfortable feelings of our stuff so that we can heal it. So when stuff comes up in our life that feels really uncomfortable, instead of pushing it away and wishing it away, it's an offering for great healing and for us to step more fully into a peaceful life. So recognize if this is you, if this kind of situation is something that you're dealing with right now, some internal turmoil or some internal unease, sit with it. Allow yourself to really be with it. and allow yourself to nurture it and allow yourself to nurture yourself through it and examine it. Ask yourself questions, ask your soul questions, ask your inner voice questions, ask God questions, ask the universe questions, to help you start to drudge through some of this stuff and heal and reconcile some of this stuff that maybe is uneasy in your life, so that you can be more intact and more healed, and the world can begin to mirror that healed energy of you. Because the world is just playing out what is going on inside of all of us. So as we all step more fully into being brave enough to heal ourselves and our own stuff, then too the world will begin to become more healed. So this uncomfort that we are all feeling on all sorts of different levels is just an offering for greater healing and greater growth, so that we can step more into a healed, peaceful life internally and then collectively as a world. So as you are working through all of this stuff for yourself, whether it's internal or trying to reconcile the external, be gentle with yourself. Be loving with yourself. Take deep breaths. When it starts to feel overwhelming and the anxiety starts to take over, go back to your breath. Stop, pause, and breathe. Take in 5 deep breaths and think of 5 things that you're deeply grateful for. Try to get a closer connection with spirit, with God, with the universe. Because when we start to feel the unease really strongly, it's usually because we are out of alignment with our connection with God, or our connection with the universe, or that greater sense of unconditional love. Because when we feel uneasy, we start to pull away from ourselves. And when we pull away from ourselves, we're pulling away from the source of unconditional love, which is God or the universe. We're pulling away from everything, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep that close relationship with God and our inner soul, because that's where the peace is. So try, if you can, not to pull away too much from your connection to that unconditional love source, which is within you and without of you as well. Try to stay really connected to that, because that's going to be your lifeline through these times of deep unease. And that's going to be your lifeline to find your source of healing and your source of expansion. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Things are really intense right now, and I'm feeling them on a very deep level. Another tool is to, when you're feeling the energy really strongly, to release any energy and emotions that are not yours. Because we're all feeling our own emotions very intensely right now. So to really make the strong intention, I release any energy or emotions that are not mine, and visualize that the energy is actually leaving your body, like just leaving your body. I've had to do that several times a day within the last few days, because the energy has been so strong. And so just find the practices that feel right to you, that get you back to you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, make yourself that cup of tea and sit down for 5 minutes and just breathe. Listen to some high vibrating, joyful music. Contact that friend that makes you feel good. Find a healer that you might resonate with, or a counselor that you might resonate with, that can help you move through the pieces of your uncomfort, so that you can begin to heal and find a sense of wholeness. If you're looking for a healer or a counselor, I do that work. I do soul integration work and counseling work and intuitive work. You can learn more about what I do over on ChristinaBronstein.com. I'm available to you. I'm here with you, feeling it with you. And I'm sending you much love and blessings, and letting you know that it's all going to work out. We're all going through this together. And this is a beautiful offering for all of us to step more fully into a beautiful world. But things are getting really dredged up, so that we can clean out the muck, so that we can step into that beautiful world, internally and externally. Until next week, guys, much love to you, and I'll see you soon.